welcome to tonight's Big Brother 20 chat.
It's episode 11.
Nope.
It's episode 12.
There we go.
And we started out the show with a disclaimer.
You know it's going to be a wild episode when they put a disclaimer in front.
I hope it wasn't because of my shirt.
You might get nominated if you don't fix that, so.
Whoa.
Okay, well anyway, last time Brett really shook up the house by staying and with his eviction speech. Because he was all like, Rockstar came to me before the vote, said she was going to flip it and pin it on Caitlyn.
And Winston went home.
Yeah.
And the HOH comp is in progress.
But before we talk about that,
let's talk about Rockstar.
I just can't get over this clip of Rockstar being like, disgusting on my daughter's birthday.
It wasn't even her birthday.
Yeah, guys, that's the crazy thing. We learned this on the feeds. Her daughter's birthday was actually on Friday. What?
Yeah.
On the eve of my daughter's birthday.
You know what pisses me off? Caitlyn asking everybody to swear on their father, their mother,
their family, their loved ones. Don't do that. So Tyler was like,
pissed about that.
Don't ever ask me again. And she took that as, don't ever ask me about my vote again because I voted Brett out. But he was saying, don't ever ask me to swear on my loved ones again because that's effed up. So that's something that's kind of been like going on for the last few days, where she'd be like, you swore on your father, and he's like, no, I didn't.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to the HOH competition.
Okay.
They're on the tree trunks.
Yeah.
Tree trunks.
They got their little perches on their trees.
They're getting covered with bird feces, bird feathers, some sort of liquid, water.
Yeah.
I guess it was bird pee.
They had like some sap coming down. Let the rain fall down. Well, anyway, that wall was really, really leaning too. The angle was nuts.
Rockstar was out first.
And she was really upset.
She just kept saying her daughter's names over and over again.
All of her kids, yeah.
Yeah, all of her kids.
And then when she fell, she was like, I'm sorry, I wanted to win that.
I wanted to win for her 80th birthday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Then Fezzi fell, and then Brett. It didn't seem like it was one for the guys to win.
No, I feel like this is definitely better for somebody light and of smaller stature.
Yes.
But I noticed the last couple seasons, BB is really into the interrupted DRs.
Yeah.
During competitions like this, where they'll be like, I think I'm doing pretty well. And then they like fall. It was funny for a while, but I feel like they're overdoing it now.
They are overdoing it.
They need to pull it back a little bit. Because it's not funny when you do it all the time.
Yeah. So it really came down to Tyler, Sam, and Casey waiting for Caitlyn to fall.
Yeah.
Because they did not want her to win the HOH.
Sam was doing some crap talking up there. She's like, I can see, I can see Caitlyn's arms shaking from here.
And it was. And right
Caitlyn
after
was like,
she
oh,
said
you're
that,
right.
Or they edited that right after she said that, Caitlyn fell.
Yeah, so Casey was like, I'm out of here. I don't need to be here. Am I on the show? Where am I?
I don't know.
So it came down to Tyler and Sam. Obviously, these two are very close. But
Sam told Tylee to jump, and he did not want it to be that obvious in front of the house that they're working together. He's
trying to set it up, like they're making this deal, like, don't put me up on the block. And Sam's like, obviously. And he's like, don't put me up on the block. Yeah, so he makes it look like they make this deal, and he finally jumps off. So that means that Sam is this week's HOH.
Whoa.
From robot to HOH.
That's right. That's right. So Rockstar's pretty upset. And Bailey talks her down.
Yeah. Bailey is really like the voice of reason, I feel like.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that actually JC and Tylee had a plan that they were going to flip the vote and blame it on Caitlyn. Right. Which is exactly what happened. They went through with their plan.
I wish we could have seen more of Brett's speech planning, because I wasn't sure if he had been working on it with Tyler and JC, and if he was in on that, or it just worked out perfectly.
It seems like too much of a coincidence that he didn't know about, you know what I mean?
Well, he knew that JC and Tyler were voting for him to stay. He knew he had the votes.
Right.
But I'm wondering if they were working on that speech together to spread as much paranoia as possible, or if it was like an isolated incident.
I don't think it was an isolated incident.
Okay.
All right. Well, Caitlyn goes and talks to Fessy.
He didn't want to talk to her. She was just like, I just want to talk to you, Fessy.
I don't trust anyone, okay? Not even you.
Yeah.
She was really upset by that.
Well, at this point, they're still trying to figure out what the hell happened with these votes. So Fessy does not believe his own allies. He thinks, oh, JC definitely voted for Brett to go. It's got to be like Haley or Caitlyn. So Caitlyn's really upset because for once, she voted with her old allies. She did what she was supposed to do. And she's just like, why does no one believe me?
But I love you! I love when he threw, what did he throw at her? He threw something at her when it was HOH room time.
Oh yeah, I don't know, something.
It's like, you suck.
Well, yeah, because as they're having this fight, Sam is like, who wants to see my HOH room? And Caitlyn's like, I'm not going. And then she went. Yeah.
All right, so it was nice to see Sam's HOH room, her mom, Ruthless.
Oh,
the tattoo.
Her doggies.
Yeah.
It was nice.
It was pretty cool that she didn't want to have any one-on-ones. And she let them know that too.
Well, yeah, because so many people will be like, when I win HOH, I'm not letting anybody up in my room. I'm not talking any game. And usually when they actually win, they're like, come on up. But this time, she actually stuck to it. And it was crazy.
I already know who I want to nominate, and you're not going to change my mind.
Oh, and she's not telling anybody before the nomination ceremony.
She wants it to be a surprise.
Right.
I'm not allowed to tell anyone.
All right. So meanwhile, everybody else is still trying to figure out what happened with these votes.
Yeah.
And Caitlyn is all, I just got to hit.
She actually said, oh, I think it might be JC and Tyler. And then she was like, no.
I know what happened. Sam used her power to flip the vote.
Mm-mm.
And Brett knew that she was going to do that, so he made that speech targeting Rockstar to make sure that she would vote him out. And then they flipped her vote, and blah, blah, blah. And they're just like... I love how Caitlyn makes up these crazy theories instead of accepting, like, your boy did not do what he said he was going to do.
And she always backs it up with, I had an intuition.
My intuition told me. Oh my god. So... it was pretty crazy. And then I loved when she was saying this to Tyler and they were doing the sound effects for like what was wrong and what was right. And Tyler's face when she was presenting this theory, how was he not laughing in her face?
I don't know.
When she went back in the other room was like, guys, I knew it. And Tyler was just like,
thank God he's not Horatio Sands from Saturday Night Live. He would have been laughing his ass off.
Yeah.
All right, so Rockstar is still... upset.
She's gonna be upset forever, for life. She's still going on about it, right? Can we get some Frozen action in here?
I know. Well, she decided to take a page out of the Big Brother playbook. Except hers was so lame. It was
so overdone.
It was like a freaking 8-inch cake pan and a spoon. And she made up this
Brett's my best friend. Yeah. I love him so much. He is my baby daddy.
And then she got on top of him.
That was too far.
I didn't like that.
That was too far. It's one thing you do your little song. When you've got bodily contact like that, it's inappropriate.
When it's part to part.
It's part to part. He told her multiple times, get off of me. They did not show that on the show, but he's like, you can get off me now. You can get off. You can get off me now.
And then she was sitting
in between his legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
That's too far.
Mm-mm. All right.
Okay.
I'm just going to leave that there.
Speaking of too far, let's talk about JC and Bailey's derogatory term discussion.
All right. Well, this is what the disclaimer was for, I'm assuming.
Oh, wait. I just want to say about the whole Rockstar Brett thing. I think that Rockstar is really, really blowing this out of proportion.
Yeah. This is Big Brother.
She is letting Brett take up space in her brain. If she had just been like, you know what? You freaking lied. I don't need to take this any further. That's it. I think a lot of people would have been like, you know what? He probably did lie about that. He made that up. But instead, she's going on and on and on about it. People are like, wow, that's a lot. That's a huge reaction. Maybe she really did have that conversation with him. And Brett is handling this really well. He's just taking it. He's like, whatever. You're not even going to own it.
Analogy that I could think of for this is she's drinking poison expecting the other person to die.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's all. All right, so
back to Bailey and JC.
Back to Bailey and JC. The comments, oh my God, I can just see them now.
Oh, guys, please be nice to each other in the comments.
Please. Don't. Come on.
Okay.
Obviously, they had a discussion.
Yes.
They
were talking about height.
Right.
And she wanted to know the difference between, like, the M word for a short person.
Which is extremely not correct to use.
A dwarf for a short person.
Right.
Like, what's the difference there?
Right.
So JC was like, oh, that's like a derogatory term. It's really offensive to little people. And then he was comparing it to other words.
Right.
For other, like, communities. So, like, for the LGBT. The F word. Yeah. For black people, the N-word. But then he says the actual N-word. Right. And Bailey's like, blah, blah, blah. No, you cannot say that. Never say that again. And JC is like,
but you just said the M-word.
He was saying, like, I was just trying to explain it. It's not like I was calling you the N-word.
Right.
So this got very...
blown out of proportion.
It got a little bit heated, but I thought they both handled themselves really well.
Well, there was also a big cut the feeds. So we don't know actually what happened in between.
Well, we did not see this whole conversation on the feeds. The only thing that we saw on the feeds was the initial discussion of, like, what's the difference between this word and this word.
Right.
And they cut it maybe like a minute after JC said the N-word. So we didn't see the whole exchange in the HOH room after that. We didn't see the exchange in this lounge room after that.
Right.
It was interesting. It was really interesting.
I think everybody needs to realize that every group in the world is going to be offended by something, and that we really need to be more sensitive to what offends other people and not say, well, this is more offensive to me than that is to you. Well, how would you know? Because you're not that person.
Yeah.
That could be extremely offensive to them. But if you're not a little person, or if you're not gay, or if you're not African American, you'll never understand what they're going through. So you just got to cut everybody some freaking slack in this world. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've been called the C word. But I'm not going to let anybody have power over me with a word. It's a word.
Okay.
It's just a word.
Yeah, I totally lost my train of thought right now.
They made up. They kissed and they made up.
I'm glad that they worked it out.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it just broke my heart hearing their stories about how they were discriminated against and when they were growing up and they were, like, the only person like them in their community.
Yeah, but everybody in their own mind always thinks that they have it the worst, which, hello, newsflash, there's always somebody with it worse off than you.
Yeah.
So just be sensitive to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Now let's talk about noms.
Sure. Another controversial topic this week.
Sam nominates Haley and Caitlyn.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Sure.
But then the reasons that she gave for nominating them were a little bit out there.
All right. Well, first she said, I think that you guys take the most and contribute the least to the house.
Okay. That's fair.
I mean, yeah, they're slobs. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's fine.
Sam does all the cleaning. I don't blame her for being annoyed about that.
But then she goes on and says, I don't like the way you treat the young men in this house. And you guys are the opposite of female empowerment.
I'm gonna say, like, I've seen the guys be just as flirty with the girls. There's this whole, like, flirt group. It's not like the guys are not responding positively to the flirting. Right. You know, yeah, I think it's inappropriate for Caitlyn because she was in a relationship.
Yes.
But, that being said, it's not my life. I would not base any game decisions on that. But again, I'm not playing the game. This is Sam's decision. I just thought her reasons were a little bit
Oh, and by the way,
not the best.
Respect yourself some more.
Oh yeah, that one stung.
Woo!
That one stung.
Get out the Bactine.
Yeah, well, Caitlyn and Haley, of course, were both like, "Ugh." They were upset.
They were upset.
More so about Sam's speech than being nominated.
Absolutely. And Fessy was too, because they probably told him to be upset.
Those are his girls. I've heard Fessy talking crap about both of them, being like, they're too flirty with me.
Yeah. You know,
when is Fessy not complaining about, like, Haley leading him on or Caitlyn, like, being all over him? Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot to say about all of this.
You know it's wrong because Brett's thrilled.
Oh, Brett. You're not even gonna own it?
Really?
Yeah.
Alright, guys.
It's a crazy week.
I think we did okay with the sensitive topic. So, like, you don't have to leave gross comments or anything.
Okay.
Because we worked it out.
But let us know what you think.
Yeah, but don't fight.
Don't be extra. Yeah. Okay. So, thank you guys so much for watching.
And until next time,
much love.